So you all know we've been talking about options, right? So on options, remember our lingo. We're expanding our lingo, right? We're expanding, we know call option, put option, expiration date, strike price, premium, implied volatility, the Greeks I talked about last week. So for all these videos, you guys can go check all this past stuff on the channel. And so I a while ago, they introduced something called zero DTE. Zero DTE meaning zero, D for days, T for two, E for expiration. Zero DTE meaning 0 days to expiration. Literally meaning you can trade options on a lot of things, including stocks. On stocks, it's not every day, but on stocks, at least, you have weekly options, right? But if you're trading those options on the day of expiration, which is the Friday or Monday through Thursday on certain assets, such as the USO, which is the United States Oil Fund, natural gas, gold, silver, TLT is the inverse of treasuries. I mean, the volume on these things, and that's also valid on the S&P 500, on the triple Qs, which is the Nasdaq 100. I mean, the volume on these things has exploded. Millions of options are trading on these things, right? Now, most of it is retail gambling. Most of it. A lot of the sellers of these things are the institutions who magically can make indexes get close at a number that they like and have all those options expire worthless. That's how they collect premium. um, I, I, I I think this is the worst thing that they could have done. It adds immense amount of volatility, especially when it comes to triple witching hour, which is all three phases of options expire. It happens once a quarter, once every 4 months. That's when all index options expire, and that's when volatility gets created. The last minute, you guys will see hundreds of millions of shares of stock traded because they have to clean up those positions. But that's the technical part. I don't like these, what they do. But then, okay, for example, I'll give you guys an example on GameStop and AMC. What happened, right? Hundreds of thousands of those options were trading when the second phase of the meme stock mania hit a couple of weeks ago. Okay. And what happens is that it creates, I talked about it on the channel, it creates something called a gamma squeeze, right? So when somebody buys these options, there has to be a seller on the other side. Well, who's the seller? Most of the time, it's institutions and market makers. Because market makers are there to create liquidity for that option. If there is no seller, they have to step up, risk their money, and be the seller of that option. Well, but when they start buying hundreds of thousands of these things, right, for nickels and pennies and sometimes more, well, what does the market maker need to do? And then the stock starts moving in the right direction. They have to go buy the stock, the underlying equity, or the index, or the ETF, to hedge themselves, to cover themselves. And that's what's happening now. On a moment's notice, volatility is picking up on stocks, and stocks are spiking out of the blue. And then they usually return to the mean where they were. And I'm like, this is the purest form of gambling. Literally is, you just kind of throw quarters close to the wall. That's what it is. Do I mess with it? Absolutely not. No need for me to mess with these things. But there are a lot of people who do. And it's basically on a daily basis, you're buying a lottery ticket, right? I mean, you're putting up nothing. You're putting up 10, 20, 30 cents, whatever it is the option is worth. So that's like, $30, $50 for each option. And if you buy 10 of them, it's $300. You could quadruple your money on a single day. For example, yesterday, let's talk a little bit about that. Yesterday, when the market was up due to Nvidia, and then it completely reversed and tanked, those daily options, zero DTE options, you would have made a fortune, because you may have bought them at a couple of cents, and then they ended up going to a couple of bucks. That's like 100x, right? But again, it's purest form of gambling when it comes to options. I don't mess with it. I don't deal with it. I don't want to deal with it because I have enough to do, or I'm watching enough.